It's 3 a.m. The world is silent. The streets outside are empty, your house is dark, and your phone screen is the only light in the room. You should be asleep. Your body is begging you to sleep. But your brain? Oh no, your brain has other plans. At 3 a.m., my brain becomes my worst enemy. It doesn't matter if I was exhausted all day. The second I lay my head on the pillow, my brain suddenly transforms into the world's most hyperactive talk show host. It watches like it says, "Welcome to tonight's episode of I'll Never Sleep Again." Featuring intrusive thoughts, embarrassing memories from 12 years ago, and a random desire to solve math equations you don't remember how to do. The first side effect of being awake at 3 a.m. is the memory spiral. Out of nowhere, my brain pulls up the most humiliating moment from middle school. Suddenly, I am reliving the time I called the teacher Mom in front of the whole class, or the time I waved at someone who wasn't waving at me. My brain replays it in 4K Ultra HD with surround sound, as if it's the most important event of my entire life. Then, as if embarrassing memories weren't enough, my brain switches gears to overthinking. Did I lock the front door? Did I pay that bill? What if I didn't? What if someone breaks in right now? What if I forgot to send that email at work? At 3 a.m., my brain is convinced that the world will literally collapse if I don't get out of bed and check the oven, even though I haven't used the oven all day. And then, the thoughts get darker. My brain whispers, "What are you even doing with your life? Where will you be in 10 years? What if you fail at everything? What if everyone secretly hates you?" And I'm lying there, wide awake, bargaining with my own brain like, "Can we not do this right now? Maybe tomorrow at 2 p.m.? That feels like a good time for an existential crisis." But no, my brain insists that 3 a.m. is the only correct time. And then, the body joins in. At 3 a.m., suddenly I need to pee, even though I went right before bed. But now my brain convinces me that if I don't get up, I'll never sleep. So I drag myself out of bed, half asleep, trip over something on the floor, and stumble back like a zombie. But of course, the second I'm back in bed, wide awake again. Sometimes my brain even decides to get creative at 3 a.m. Suddenly I have the best ideas of my life. I'll invent a $1 million app, write the first line of a novel, or come up with the perfect comeback to an argument from 6 years ago. My brain is like, genius mode activated. And of course, by morning, I don't remember any of it. But the absolute worst part of being awake at 3 a.m. is when my brain decides to worry about completely useless random things. Like, how do astronauts poop in space? What if penguins had wings like eagles? Would they rule the sky? Why do we park in driveways and drive on parkways? These thoughts do not help me sleep. At all. Then, around 4 a.m., the regret kicks in. My brain finally slows down just enough for me to think, "Wow, you really ruined tomorrow." Because now I know I'm going to wake up late, be tired, forget my keys, spill coffee, and live in a fog of exhaustion. But here's the thing. I know I'm not alone. Millions of us fight with our brains at 3 a.m. Some people battle anxiety, some replay every awkward thing they've ever done, and some are just kept awake by the sound of their own heartbeat pounding too loudly in the silence. And maybe, just maybe, our brains don't hate us. Maybe at 3 a.m., when everything is quiet and still, our brains finally get the stage they never get during the chaos of the day. Maybe that's when all the noise, all the stress, all the unspoken fears finally come out to perform. So why does my brain hate me at 3 a.m.? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just needs me to listen. But still, I'd prefer if it did its TED Talk at, say, noon. So tell me, what is the weirdest thought your brain has ever forced on you at 3 a.m.? Drop it in the comments. I promise I'll read them when I can't sleep tonight. And if your brain keeps you up too, smash that like button and subscribe, because at least we can all be awake together.